Hey everyone, welcome back to Pro AV Today. I am your host, Ben Thomas. As you walk through places like sports venues and attractions and theme parks and even office buildings these days, you probably are seeing a massive increase in unattended and touchless technology, right? Everything from being able to check into your hotel unattended all the way to being able to use a fully integrated vending machine that has incredible screens and payment technology and everything in between, right? And that's one of the things that we're seeing as a community in the AV community as we're reaching some of these newer markets and emerging markets and things like that. But I wanted to dig in a little bit deeper into that conversation, so I brought on a few of my friends over at Kiosoft. That's Amar Tiabi, Norman Sarinsky, and Jack Donnelly. Gentlemen, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us, Ben.
Yeah, thanks for having us, and we're excited. We appreciate it.
Well, Amar, we'll start with you. It's funny when you think about some of this integrated technology that we're seeing now, everything from integrated touch displays to wayfinding, things like that. All of that kind of technology and unattended technology kind of started a long time ago, right? With things like, laundry machines and laundromats. Talk about where that unattended and kind of self-serve payment technology originated.
Kiosoft has been in the payment industry side since 2002. So we are the leaders when it comes to the unattended world. So when you talk about laundry, you talk about vending, you talk about integration. We've really captured the market in North America, right? So we first started off in the laundry space where it was fully coin operated, and they needed a solution, right? And with what we provided in the unattended space, with payment technology rising in North America, being contactless, we took charge and provided a solution that would be able to connect a room and with your coin and cash, continue to pay with your debit and credit cards that's available. So that's how we started in the industry in 2000. I was going to say 2020, but 2002. And that we evolved into all the other segments that you've talked about.
Well, it really is incredible to see how the market has kind of been assimilated into the AV and integrated technology community, especially when you talk about things, right? You go to venues and now you can order from a kiosk, but while that's not in use, right, it's advertisements, it's digital signage, it's wayfinding. So there's a lot of different ways to utilize the technology. And Norman, as we think about some of those newer technologies, whether it's kiosks, whether it's vending machines, even EV chargers, things like that, what are some of the ways that you're seeing this newer technology, specifically as you get those displays integrated? What are some of the ways that you're seeing that technology be effectively utilized these days?
Well, that's just it. I mean, everybody utilizes it now, right? Everybody uses their phones to pay for stuff, contactless cards, tap to pay, like you said, near field communication systems. So it's just becoming a normal part of everyday life. Cash is always going to be king in my mind. It's how we were raised. But to be honest, it's starting to dwindle, and people are really comforted by the fact that they can pay with whatever's kind of floating around in their pocket if they did forget their cash. So in our space alone, I mean, you're talking about people whose industry was built and the backbone was on coin and cash. And it's a big change, but it's going well. And a lot of people are taking taking kindly to it, I should say. And we're seeing a positive impact.
Well, kind of on that same note, Jack, wanted to ask, obviously kind of with the core function being, kind of taking, receiving, distributing payment, as you look into expansions like advertising, digital signage, wayfinding, things like that, you start to bring in a number of different departments, right? Whether that's the IT team for device security, whether that's the ad sales team for obviously selling those ads. How do you find ways to communicate between those departments, right? No longer is it just kind of one department making the decision. It's really across a number of different places. How's that played out for you guys?
Right. So it's like you said, it's kind of getting everyone involved and seeing, I mean, essentially for the end user, trying to get the most amount of revenue in that square footage that they're allotted, in their locations, whether it's 1,000 square feet, a little laundromat or, a big vending machine corporation. So it kind of depends on how we, need to utilize all that space, and whether it's, like you said, digital signages, actual signages, and just bringing everyone together and getting everyone's feedback and how we can best suit our end customer and, make the most revenue out of, like I said, the most square footage we can.
Well, and Amar, I want to dive in a little bit deeper to kind of the point that you made earlier, right? We talked about some of those legacy applications of taking and receiving payment. Now, especially as you look in, whether it's kiosks, whether it's vending machines, things like that. Even we'll use, for example, the attractions world in the theme park world, right? When those technologies first started coming out, they were frankly a little bit notorious for not being super user friendly. But now we've really jumped into this space where user experience is as much of a core feature as the revenue and as the accessibility tools, right? Talk a little bit about that guest experience when it comes to integrating with, or when it comes to working with this technology.
So the guest experience, it's always listening to the end user, right? When we have a product that comes, obviously smartphones and the evolution of smartphones and the intuitiveness has really helped the progression of the kiosks and the unattended space because people are used to that and it's clean and simple type of solutions. That's what Kiosoft provides. So if you go through our flow, the diagram that we provide for the end user experience, it has to be easy, right? So with the evolution of the smartphones has helped us shape the industry. I mean, shape the unattended world because we followed that path as well and how people respond to it. And it's got to us to a point where we are today, right? Where it's all like a turnkey solution from the mobile side of things. And then now you're looking at the application of on the kiosk and vending side of things, right? And also the laundry side of things. So it makes it a lot easier when we study, analyze the user experience, right? So.
Well, and Norman, I'm kind of on that same note when we're talking about guest experience. We live in a world now where BYOD and bring your own device is kind of the way of the world right now, right? No longer are we focused on one specific device, whether it be a kiosk or our phone at one time. And I'll use an example. I was at a hotel actually ordering some food and had to scan my rewards code. I had to order on my phone and then send it to the kiosk and pay. That was a little bit of a disjointed experience. But the point there being that, even on a single transaction, there's not just one device that's being utilized. How do you really absorb that guest and their own devices? How do you create that functionality?
Our system's pretty intuitive, as Amber kind of highlighted. Our end users are happy because of the simplicity of our system. From start to finish, nobody's sitting here scanning their Marriott Bonvoy rewards number, So it's ultimately tailored to make the user happy, keep it simple, right to the point. Somebody comes in, whether they use their phone at a reader, a card at a reader, even if they have to go through the kiosk system and get a preloaded card to use it, there's one or two steps each way. It's not multiple steps. It doesn't confuse anybody, and that's kind of what we're building it off of.
Well, Jack, I'll ask this question too. One of the biggest challenges that as an AV and display community that we've had previously is finding ways to make sure that we have secured technology, right? And obviously that extends all the way to the payments and the kiosks and the self-serve technology as well. As you're seeing more of this integrated technology come into these tools, how important is the security of that device?
Well, obviously the security is everything. If hackers can come in and take, all those payments and be able to get first our information and then the end user's information, that's the number one goal for us, is to make sure that the end users are safe and none of their information is being compromised. So first we have to kind of nail that down, which, we have, and, everyone, in the space has been able to do that with the PCI certifications and all that. But really that's number one goal, is make sure that this information cannot be compromised. And then from there, make it easy for the end user in terms of not making it too complicated, not too secure, because obviously nothing can be too secure, but making it, accessible, but also very secure.
And as you guys continue to expand and we see this kiosk technology jump into newer markets, and Norman, I'll come back to you with this. What are some of the new verticals, new markets, new applications, whether it be EV charging or beverage dispensers, things like that? What are some of the newer markets that excite you?
You hit it. We're focused. Honestly, I mean, our team is focused on amusements day in and day out, but we're always looking to see what we can integrate with. And you hit it. EV is huge. We could potentially do something there, but I don't want to kind of overspeak my boundary there. I don't know what we're getting into, but in terms of just simple excitement, everything excites me, Ben. Kiosoft should be everywhere, and we will eventually.
Well, Lamar, kind of same question to you, but within the context, we'll stick on the attraction side a little bit specifically. That world is kind of the culmination of every type of user experience, right? Everything from the parking to buying the tickets to ordering food to paying for things and buying game tickets and stuff. That world specifically is kind of a conglomeration of all of those use cases. When you look at the attraction side, what are some of the things that get you fired up that you're looking forward to, whether it be new technologies or whether it be new applications?
Right. So let's stick with new application side of things. One thing that we've looked at is with millennials and Gen Zs are all impulse based, right? How do we make our solution impulsive? So when someone opens up an app, opens up, goes to the kiosk, everything is a turnkey solution, right? You can do everything all at once, and people want simplicity. And with the percentage of millennials and Gen Zs converting and going to these attractions, going to these facilities and cinemas as things are opening up and back to normal, right? You see more and more of these experiences happen. And the fact that Kiosoft and in the amusement space as well, we provide that full solution of I guess transactions and interactiveness. It's a great way for us to sort of demonstrate how good we are.
Well, Jack, I'll give you the last word here. We talk about millennials and Gen Z, not just in the attractions and entertainment space, but really across all the different verticals, right? What are some of the challenges that you're seeing integrating and kind of reaching some of those specific groups?
I would say finding some of the things that they like to do. What exactly do they like to do? And I'll kind of touch on that last part, the new applications. I mean, we're seeing Topgolf become a big thing now. What about unattended Topgolf? That's something that can be looked at in terms of, do they like this? Is this something that can be, a new industry, a new vertical? So I would say basically just finding out what they like to do. Are they going to these FECs, Dave and Buster's type places, or are they now into the bowling alleys? It basically is doing a study on where we can find them the most, where the cards are being most used in unattended places. So I would say that's kind of the challenge behind, finding these new verticals. Where are they using these cards?
Well, and that's a good point. I'll tell you what, that won't be the last question, because that gives me another question. Then I'll land the plane here with Amar and give you the real last word. You talk about some of those, I'll call them almost reactive trends, right? Reacting to the kind of where people are. What are those new verticals that you guys are almost kind of, I don't want to say taking a guess at, but really taking a risk and being proactive in?
I would start off with the higher education space. We work with great partners that are in that, and we're there are the Gen Zs right now, right? We watch, listen, and see what they're asking for, and proactively try to improve their lifestyle, right? Improve their habits, or understand, what Jack was saying, where they're going, right? And we have learned a lot for the last couple of years on how that's transitioned, right? And obviously with the pandemic that we all experienced, the whole unattended space also opened up in new verticals from, our fully unattended RC Coffee and Kio Cafe type of coffee experiences that we created, right? We took, I would say, a chance, but we were very bold in our move to provide a solution like that, and it's blowing up because of how effective that was in, not in higher education, but in airports, malls, anywhere that you're able to not go inside but outside type of experience with high foot traffic and all that, right? So we provided that type of technology the last few years, and it really caught on in a good way, not in a bad way.
Well, yeah. Hopefully not the real kind of fire, more just the societal fire, if you will. But
right.
Gentlemen, I appreciate you guys coming on today. It's always wonderful to talk about some of the ways that we're seeing not only display technology but integrated payment technology really impact and serve the end user. And I appreciate all the great work that you guys are doing to advance that space. And look, continue to innovate, continue to try new things, because I can tell you firsthand, it's incredible to be part of some of those things and part of some of those experiences that you guys are enabling. So thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. We appreciate it.
And thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to watch next time.